I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Now, today we're reading from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 22. Let's focus on verses 13 through 19. Woe to him who builds his house by unrighteousness and his chambers by injustice, who uses his neighbor's service without wages and gives him nothing for his work, who says, I will build myself a wide house with spacious chambers, and cut out windows for it, paneling it with cedar and painting it with vermilion. Shall you reign because you enclose yourself in cedar? Did not your father eat and drink and do justice and righteousness? Then it was well with him. He judged the cause of the poor and needy, and then it was well. Was not this knowing me, says the Lord? And yet your eyes and your heart are for nothing but your covetousness, for shedding innocent blood and practicing oppression and violence. Therefore, thus says the Lord concerning Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah. They shall not lament for him, saying, Alas, my brother, or alas, my sister. They shall not lament for him, saying, Alas, master, or alas, his glory. He shall be buried with the burial of a donkey, dragged and cast out beyond the gates of Jerusalem. You know, everyone weeps at the funeral of a good man, but nobody mourns for a tyrant. And to paraphrase Forrest Gump, kings are as kings do. God's indictment of Jerusalem's rulers is direct. Just because you have a house fit for a king does not mean that you are fit to run God's kingdom. And simply amassing wealth does not make you spiritually rich. This was all because Judah's rulers had acquired their wealth and their power by exploiting the apple of God's eye, which is his people. Instead of God's hired servants and shepherds called to lay down their lives for the sheep, the ruling elite considered themselves owners of the flock, and they were intent on shearing and slaughtering the sheep. God may bless us with wealth, but it is not so that we can live lavishly. He calls us to care for even the least of his lambs. James chapter 1, verse 27, pure and undefiled religion before God and the Father is this, to visit orphans and widows in their trouble, and to keep oneself unspotted from the world. Now, among Christians, it is widely accepted that homosexuality was the sin for which God judged Sodom and Gomorrah. And while homosexuality is an abomination to the Lord according to his word, he says through the prophet Ezekiel that there was a whole other reason, one much closer to the hearts of every believer, for which he judged Sodom. Ezekiel 16, verses 48 through 50, As I live, says the Lord God, neither your sister Sodom nor her daughters have done as you and your daughters have done. Look, this was the iniquity of your sister Sodom. She and her daughter had pride, fullness of food, and abundance of idleness. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and the needy. And they were haughty, and they committed abomination before me. Therefore, I took them away as I saw fit. So homosexuality was just simply an outworking of a culture bent on pride and gluttony. All the while, they were neglecting the least of these. Oh, that America would hear this message and turn from their mirror and seek the Lord. I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Now, Groundworks Ministries operates entirely through financial donations from faithful people like you. And yes, we need your monthly support. Donating is secure and it's easy at our website, groundworksministries.com. Another way to help is just tell people about Groundworks Ministries. You can share our podcast with friends and family, share them on your social media. And of course, you can always direct folks to our website, groundworksministries.com.